What the heck is going on here?
Where the hell are we?
Not that you people can see it out there, but Tommy and I are in a new establishment tonight.
New room.
Tommy, just talk for me. Just so
Yo, can you hear me? Here we are.
You're on.
We're looking like we're popping.
We just went live.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
We have sound, Tommy.
Nice.
So
always paranoid.
Tommy.
Yes, sir.
It's been a while since we
like a month and a half.
I said a few months on this thing.
Yeah, we took the whole month of December off, and now we're almost at the end of fucking January.
Yeah,
so.
and we took a lot of. We weren't here before Thanksgiving, so it's been over a couple of months.
So yeah,
definitely.
fucking holidays have come and gone.
And so now we're gonna try to get on a roll.
Yeah. Definitely that.
You know, it was a good time off. I mean, we haven't been consistent since basically last summer,
for
or a little
year.
before the summer.
Yeah.
Doing a show here and there, but I had a lot of things going on.
Oh yeah,
you know,
sure.
enjoying life, enjoying summer. Daughter in college now.
My daughter just graduated.
Nice.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Yeah, very happy about me. Yeah, she just had a birthday.
To catch up
Yeah,
on
right.
that's been going on.
Everything.
Yes, I got a fabulous girlfriend that I had even though when we were doing the show before, but now the Room podcast is in a secluded area in her house.
Yeah, she's right upstairs.
Yes, she gave me a nice rehearsal drum podcast room.
Yeah, this is cool here.
Kind of.
Yeah, we're styling in
just
here.
so I could be comfortable and all that. I was going to rent another place.
Yeah,
and what's better than having dinner and just being able to come downstairs and do your podcast?
Oh yeah, for you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my girlfriend did offer you a steak dinner when you walked in tonight.
Yeah, that's already a step up in the fucking game when we're here. You know, I wish I hadn't eaten. I'm like, God damn, that looks good. You know.
Yeah, it's well, you said you ate before here. Usually you go get tacos.
Tacos
burrito or something like that.
I had Colombian food tonight. They're like little like empanadas and like things with chicken and beef in it and fried.
Shit that'll come out of you shitting tomorrow.
No,
right?
Nothing bad like that. It's not spicy. There's a spicy sauce, but it's all good, real food. So you're not shitting it out. It's not like Taco Bell.
So that's your post Triforce?
Sometimes I get burnt out of places, So I'm not burnt out of that place right now. I haven't gone in a while, so it's quick, like $6 for fuking dinner, including a drink.
Exactly.
That's
good
and
stuff.
Quick.
Right
it's all
there.
just right there. So
that quality $6 meal. So
that's
Tommy, to mention, we are in a new spot.
Yeah.
And what are you thinking about it?
It's really nice, dude. I'm gonna miss the old room.
Yes.
We had some fun times in there, and you had some fun times too. But this is the room, and it's cool.
Well, one thing we are working out still. This is our first, show down here. Is the light situation. Yep. I switched cameras around. It kind of looks the same.
Yep.
What you're seeing out there.
Yep.
But it's different in here. Oh, wait a minute. I think I got a view from it. Wide angle. Oh, it's not on. Oh, that's because we're using it for the call-in. For the call-in.
Yeah.
That camera's being occupied.
Yeah, we'll get it going. We want the people to see, and if you were to call in any of our guests, you don't see what the rest of the world is seeing, the side-by-side picture of me and Steve. It's a long shot of us sitting here and, the room and things like that. So, that'd be cool. That'd be cool to show.
Yeah. Well, Tommy, I didn't announce the show tonight because I didn't know if my, it's still a little shaky in here with the internet and how things work and, and a whole new, vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we supposed to, and we will. We will be having Mike Polvere call in tonight. I didn't want to announce it and then him share it, and then everyone, all the Cage Titans people, and then something go wrong, and I look like a jackass after 2.5 months. You know what I mean? Not coming on unless I promise everyone Mike Polvere is coming on.
The main
it doesn't
man.
happen.
Yeah. One of our favorite guests.
Oh yes, and we got to get back to that, having him on at Fight Week, which it is.
Yep.
Cage Titans 69, correct? Fight Week.
Yeah,
I should be asking
69.
you. It's been so long, but we missed a few shows, kind of covering them a little bit.
I keep in touch with them. Not a lot of my guys have been fighting. I don't think too many of my guys are fighting on this one. I don't know the full card, but low key,
Yeah. another great card. I think they had that fight with Andrew Valdina and Joe fall through.
Yeah.
I don't know if the maybe the party's still making the trip here.
Not a lot of posts out of that camp. So.
Yeah, well, I did. Cage Titans did put something up. The party and stuff like that.
I get fucking spammed from Joe Penfield, the parties, fucking in Facebook all the time about
because
stupid shirts and shit. You know what I mean?
People are making that.
I know.
That's them bots or something.
Yeah,
because Jonathan Piersma, he had like six profiles made that were all trying to. I kept blocking everyone.
Yeah, no,
and then you see the fighters come on Facebook saying, "Hey, there's someone making my, a profile in my name, and they're trying to sell shirts. Don't do it. That's you not only have to worry about people, ripping you off,
stealing your credit card
in real life, but they're ripping off your identity and friggin' on Facebook.
They can't wait. I know people who have. Had their whole lives on Facebook stolen and reproduced and, fucking scamming other people and saying people died and things like that, It's crazy.
Like, isn't they prey on the old stuff all the time?
I bet you that the older community, especially if they're not tech savvy, really gets hit hard by fucking scammers.
Of course, they lose a lot of money.
I remember my grandmother, and she wasn't even that old, would fucking be calling the fucking fake insurance things on TV.
Some of them, and actually, some of them do it, and they get embarrassed. They don't want to tell anyone, and then it just happens again, and what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But there's other things going on right now with the phone calls. People are telling you, the police association saying that you owe money for tickets. For a parking ticket you didn't pay. Like they're trying to get you.
Amazon will do that too. They'll hit you up and they'll say that you have an outstanding balance of like $500.
Oh yeah,
that's fucking piece of shit everywhere.
I mean, they do that to like 100,000 people. So they're gonna.
Oh, they get it.
They're gonna get a.
Yeah,
a hit.
there's entire. Like the Nigerian prince scams. There's entire like colleges that fucking teach these kids how to fucking scam people for a living. It's crazy.
It's great. I watch a guy on YouTube and he calls the scammers and he scams.
I've heard that. I've heard of this guy. And then have the two scammers talking to each other.
These friggin' Indian guys yelling.
That's hilarious.
They're being all nice and stuff.
I have seen that. That's funny.
Aggravates him so much they start swearing at him about his mother. Everything.
Then they start saying he's the scammer and shit like that.
And I'm like, do they even understand what they're saying when they're swearing at him? Go after your mother. It's fucking awesome.
I'm gonna look that. That's just funny.
You gotta see it. So anyway, lots been going on, Tommy, and something for you. I mean, last time I think it was basically last time we were kind of on a steady podcast. Yep. You got your last purple belt stripe.
Oh well,
and now you're a brown belt.
Now I'm a brown belt. Yeah, exactly.
So
fucking
when did that happen, and how exciting is that for you, buddy?
So very exciting. I think it was unexpected. Sometimes when it's time, you think you're gonna get it, a stripe or whatever. I was thinking that this was not my time to get a brown belt, but coach thought otherwise. Fucking got it. I've been grinding really hard. There's no question about my dedication to the fucking sport. Like a month ago or something, probably. Yeah, a month and a half.
Life feel any different in the gym? Or,
no, just same shit. I did get fucking rocked in the face that day when I got my brown belt. Some kid fucking flew and kicked me when I unexpectedly.
Was he trying for like a leg?
No, it was. We were just doing techniques. We were doing drills, and he was the partner next to us. It wasn't my group. And all of a sudden, fucking comes flying in, boom, fucking kicks me in the face, slash down my fucking face, dripping blood. Last round of the fucking. The drills we were doing. It was the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
is this a regular?
Yeah, fucking some kid. It was an accident, so
okay.
I didn't fucking kill him, which I really wanted to do.
Sure.
And
Pete see it like the approaches. They
yeah.
I mean, they see that.
They
stuff
saw
all
it.
the time.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, you know. And I think one of my other coaches was there and said something, and he was very apologetic and whatever. You know what I mean? But you got to fucking watch what you're doing. You can't be crashing into the fucking people next to you. You know what I'm saying?
So you mentioned. Triforce doesn't have any fighters on the Cage Titans card.
I don't think so.
How's the fighters?
Good.
How's it, John?
I was with John today, just training with him,
John
doing
Duma.
Real good. They're really good.
Dion
got his black belt recently.
Oh, nice.
Leon Davis got his black belt.
Oh, great.
Fucking Sweeps got his black belt. Fucking Anise got his black belt. If I'm forgetting anyone, my bad. That's about it.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Holy shit.
These guys are fucking killers, man.
How's I know the gym went through a lot of changes.
Yeah.
Bigger, better.
Yep. Yeah.
How's all that going?
We're about like a year and a half into the new
Yeah.
spot. A year, maybe. It's hard to tell. I always forget. Really good. Fucking packed house. I mean, you know, like you said, does anything feel different about me being a brown belt? I think it just comes with the experience of being in there. I fucking know everyone in there now. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way it is. You know what I mean? I've been going there for 5 years.
You know, it's funny, Tommy. I'm looking. It's not funny, but I'm looking. You look orange, and I look. We both look a little orange. I'm gonna have to work with them cameras.
Yeah, with the lights or maybe the tint or something.
I got a bunch of lights in here, though. You know, it's just working them around, putting them where they need to go.
I haven't looked on YouTube in a long time.
Are we still on YouTube?
I think so. Isn't that where we do it?
So have you been following fighting at all? Like not just local stuff, but
yeah, I watched
around?
the UFC over the weekend. I was trying to stay awake for it. Fucking those late nights. Those are pretty good ones. That fight there, Jiri, what's his name there? Poor whatever. Fucking like he's like a big fucking Polish guy, ponytail.
Oh yeah. He just won. He just beat the hell out of Hill,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
we all
Jamal
were
Hill.
happy about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Jamal.
Jamal's he's good too, but he didn't look at that night, man.
Oh, dude, he's been getting slaughtered online about just the shit he says. It's kind of funny.
He's a fucking he's a troll.
He's playing along with it.
Yeah,
and
he's looking kind of fat.
But he got
he got beat up.
Yeah. Second time he got knocked out in the last couple of fights.
Yep.
So.
And then Islam's his opponent backed out last minute.
Yeah.
So he
Hurt his
got
back.
took up. Yep. So
Doing
he fucking
some calisthenics with the interview girl from the UFC.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what they're joking
the
about.
joke is,
yeah,
yeah.
because he does all these flips and stuff.
Yeah, so then therefore fucking Islam fucking choked out his opponent in like a minute.
Yeah, like nothing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was probably going to do that to the other guy anyway, too.
Yeah, I wonder if it would have given much of a thing.
But imagine that, like the last second, like literally.
Title fight too.
Yeah. Fuck.
Sucks.
And then Dana's pissed at him. He said, he ain't getting another title shot. He's going to make his way up again. Imagine that, being right there. Doing, and now you're going to fight probably 2 more times to get back to that title.
And you're already injured.
Yeah.
You know. Must have been a bad injury.
He's not really that injured. But,
well, shit. I mean, like.
Why would you do that?
Yeah,
why would
exactly.
you not fight?
Yeah.
I mean, the other guy that stepped in, he was going to had his own fight going on. Would he last? Half a round?
Yeah.
So if the other guy, I mean, what are you worried about? I mean,
no, yeah, exactly.
No one's expecting you to win.
Yeah, if that's your job, then you're gonna fight. Like you're not. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, one of the last podcasts we had, as far as fighting, is the Mike Tyson thing was coming on.
Oh, jeez.
And we were way past that now.
Yeah,
but
that was stupid. What the fuck even happened? Right? It was a decision, right? And Jake
he
won.
lost, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But you remember that show before, like we ended again. I got the thing saying I'm making money on my Facebook or something like that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, for 2 months I made some money.
Nice.
I don't know how I was doing it. I was just like, on my, and then I got shut down because I guess I did a copyright thing.
Oh yeah. So they took it away. They paid you a little bit.
Like, now I'm making $10 a month again.
Wow.
I made like $1,700 in 1 month. Yes.
What?
For memes, dude.
For sharing memes of other things?
Yeah, it was. I'm telling you, I was making money on memes.
That's
I made
crazy.
$600 on one meme.
What?
Yes, because it went like the Mike Tyson meme.
Yeah.
The one that showed the rules of the boxing match when they first were like really announced that it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
People shared that. I think I got like 6,000 likes on it.
And then you got money for it?
$680
And it
for
just
that
goes right to your
one
thing?
meme. It went right into my PayPal. It took a month. Like it accumulated for the month.
Yep.
I made $1,700 in the month.
How do you start getting paid for that? Like
You gotta monetize your page. Like you gotta make it into a professional page.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I don't.
But my ambassador page, the shit post page that I just post anything and funny memes, and I post like updates of fights and stuff like that. That's got like 38,000 followers on it. But I've had so many infractions and
demonetize
I
that
think
shit.
I'm going for calling people names or whatever. So they didn't give me any chance to monetize.
No, right?
And then I was good for all that time because I wasn't using the page that much. And then all of a sudden we were doing the podcast and it says, hey, now you can make money. And then it was telling me I'm making 100 times as much as I was making before. So that $10 I was making a month
100
times 100.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then times that by 12 memes a week. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
So and then my memes or my posts, my
You're
updates,
just resharing shit, right?
I was resharing shit. Was making like I was averaging $25 a day.
On one fucking stupid thing.
$25 a day just posting.
And you could just make any page professional and do that shit?
Yeah, but you got to get the following.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
got to have. I like the analytics and showing like 8 million hits or 8 million
views or whatever, not
things,
necessarily likes and shit. Yeah.
Like I just had mad traffic coming to the page, so they paid me for too much, and then they didn't tell me what I did as far as losing my
your privileges.
Yeah, but I think I shared like a video. Like
with music,
something like that, and then they say "fuck you" right away. Boom, you know what I mean? I'm like, I didn't even get a like. I did the, I appealed it and everything else, and they said, nah,
it was still just
you're done. So maybe by if another year I'll be good, and then they'll give it to me.
Zuckerberg's got you in his pocket, man.
Fucking A. Imagine I could have been making 17. Well, I don't think I would have been the next month. Mm-hmm. I made like 1,100 or 10. Like sometimes you hit a bigger thing.
Yeah, sure. But if
Dude, I was on my way.
started stepping it up,
I was on my way. Just think $1,700 a month is a fucking
playing on your phone.
Fucking over 10 grand. Fucking 17,000 a month.
You gotta pay taxes on that shit, probably.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh, they're gonna tax me on that.
Of course.
$2,400 or something.
You're not getting away
but
from that.
I was fascinated. I was like, I just made $1,700 on Facebook. I was like, I'm actually getting paid for this now?
It's crazy, right? You're getting paid for the room.
So that just makes me think about like Cage Titans and all these, some of these pages that are huge that, get monetized. So, Cage Titans, they must get some, that pays some of the bills or helps with some of
the lights on, yeah.
All these other people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, people who have thousands
It's
of
amazing that, that's what TikTok was doing. It was paying everyone, and everyone, freaked out when they shut down for a couple of hours, but people make their living, make millions of dollars on that monetizing stuff.
People are looking. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so
interesting.
I screwed up somehow. I think it was definitely a video. It could have been like a friggin' meme or anything.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I wonder. That's crazy.
I talked to Mike about that.
Yeah, if they're,
he won't give me the
real number.
The numbers. No. But he'll let me know. Oh my God, it's time for Mike now.
When's he calling in? 8:30.
What's going on here? All right, so let me see if he's ready. You around? You ready? It'll be funny, not funny, but I need to talk to Mike. We haven't talked fighting in so long.
I know.
I'm just, I'm a little ashamed that I haven't been following as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What are you gonna do? I'm trying to look up the card.
Yeah, if you go to
there's so many fake pages on that. I'm like, what the fuck?
2 minutes, he said. If you go to CageTitansFC.com, that'll bring you to that website. And then in the middle of the page, it has you can click on. I think it shows the poster, and you click on that, and it'll go down. All that will show up as far as the fight card and everything else on there. Odds, betting.
I was thinking about going to that one, but this weekend I got family shit to do. So
I was thinking it too, but it's 4 degrees out.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be warmer. It's gonna be like 30. So
is
it's
gonna be better
tomorrow?
Yeah,
it's
I was just
warmer.
like, but they're sold out. They were sold out last week, Cage Titans. But I did
us.
tell Mike I want to bring my girlfriend to her first MMA show, but I'm gonna wait until it's a little warmer. Maybe.
So Ali Zebian, Jack Congdon, Kenny Champion, Greg Jones, Tom Pellegrino versus Don Shanis was the headliner.
That's the main event now.
So that's a good one.
There's a lot of good fights there. You got Ozzy Martin, who's making his pro debut against Ron Marshall, who's a good dude, really good dude.
Yeah, a lot of good fighters on this card. It's big.
Mike Polvere says he's ready.
Let's do it.
So let's get him on.
Yeah, I don't see one Triforce guy in this though.
No, not even. I don't even think there's grappling.
No.
Well, maybe there is, but I didn't see it on there. There is Muay Thai.
Trevor Guide, who's one of our friends, Kenyon Moore.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, a lot of up and comers, a lot of young kids coming up on the undercard. But Mike said he's ready, so
cool.
Let's get Mike. Hopefully this works. I haven't done it in so long.
Hopefully it does.
Let's see what happens. There it is. Looks like it might work. What's up, Mike?
What's going on, man?
Yo, what's up?
What's your head doing over there?
Is that what he sees? That's what he sees right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to reposition all that stuff. You know how it is. It's a new place, new system. We didn't even know if the internet was gonna work tonight, but it seems like it's working. I know you were tuning in early, and one thing I didn't, Mike. I usually brag about who's gonna be on the show, but I didn't want to do it because I was afraid that maybe the internet or something would happen, and I didn't want all your people to jump on and and be disappointed if they didn't see your face. You know what I mean? But
I know how that is. Actually, I'm setting up a home office studio, and I did the show like 2 weeks from it, and like the internet, like that's just one thing you assume.
Oh yeah.
And the internet wasn't really cooperating, so I feel your pain there.
Yeah, this is. I did a trial run a couple of weeks ago. I was going to have you on last week, but Tommy was feeling under the weather. But this kind of fits well, Mike, because we were so used to doing the Fight Week podcast with you. Yep. So might as well get it back going with you, my man. Sorry that we haven't been,
been slacking a little bit.
Yeah, supporting the cause and stuff like that. But we're promised we're back now, Mike. We got all cylinders firing. So we're going to be back getting to know some of these, new fighters and getting back with the old fighters again, man.
I love it. Listen, man, sometimes it's nice to get a break and kind of get a refresh. So,
you got to give yourself an off season.
I get it. I see how it is. I do the same thing with Table Titans on Monday. It's like, it's a grind having to tune in and come up with stuff to talk about every damn week. So sometimes it's nice to get a recharge. So I respect that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's nice to having someone in the studio. It's a little lonely when you have someone call in as your co-host or whatever. It's nice to have the people right here with you and you can just interact with them. So I'm glad to have Tommy back.
Glad to be back, man.
Tommy, first time in the house.
Yep.
I did mention earlier that I'm living with my girlfriend now, and she gave me a beautiful new room to kind of get the podcast going. I got my drums in here and everything. So it's down the basement. She gave me my own little thing. So I'm very appreciative to her that we can get this going again.
We just got to be on our best behavior.
I was gonna say how many Miller Lights you gonna be throwing back.
Well, yeah.
Cheers.
The beers, it's the beers she don't mind about. It's any other career.
Yeah, it's gonna get smoky in here.
Yeah. No smoking in the house or anything like that.
That's fine. No, we
didn't smoke in the podcast or anything like that. But Tommy did mention that when we left the podcast, the old room, that it was in shambles, Mike. It was a dirty hole when I took all my stuff out of there, and the floor of the old podcast, man. Thank God I got out of there. Or the
mold.
The inspector general be in there checking it out.
What made you leave the old room?
It was just I was doing the podcast maybe twice a month, if that. So I was spending all that money for the podcast. I was thinking maybe I would make it into like a band rehearsal spot, to kind of cut the course. You know what I mean? That I have the band there. That didn't work out. And then my girlfriend just mentioned, why don't you just move it either into your new band rehearsal spot, which is bigger, or the house. And I said, what's better than being able to have a dinner and then go right downstairs to be able to do the podcast right there? I don't have to run to another city to jump on the phone or the internet or whatever to get a podcast going. So that was basically it.
Yeah, and I'm out here anyway. I train in Pawtucket.
That's kind of what I'm looking to do here. So I have my home office that I'm trying to build out. The walls are a little bare.
Yeah.
But kind of same idea. If I get this set up, I don't have to run to Quincy all the time and do go into that studio. I can kind of a little more ease of use if I can have this home studio working.
Exactly. Tommy walked into a filet steak meal that my girlfriend offered him. He didn't even want it, but that's also going to be involved. My my girlfriend bringing down his potato chips, a beer here and there. She's probably like, "Fuck you, I'm doing that."
Man, that's pretty bad. I would listen. I don't think, you know what's sad is, we've talked so many times over the years, through the room, and, we go back so far. I don't believe all the appearances that I've done with you. I don't think I've ever been actually at that old studio.
No.
Now that steak's involved, I might have to come to this new home studio.
Come on down, man.
Yeah.
We gotta. I mean, we could do fight companions here because the next room is the TV and the sectional and the big room. I just move a camera in there and we can go back to doing some of that cool stuff and bring some fighters down here to talk about
fight
fights.
companions are always really fun.
Yeah. No, for sure. I love that, man. So I heard that you talking about your pages and all the money you make. I love that. You heard you say $1,700.
So wait a minute, Mike. Was making. Let's just say was making. So what happened? What I explained earlier was, the pages were monetized, but I was making like $10 a month or $15 a month. I wasn't even paying attention. It would just go into my PayPal, and then one day, one of our last podcasts together, I got a message on my thing and inviting me to monetize or something like that. And I did, and I didn't check anything. And all of a sudden I had a meme or a couple of memes worth like $400, $600 a piece.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they made a mistake, but it was saying that I was making 100% more per whatever I was putting out there than I was before. So, Mike, the month of December, I made $1,700 just posting memes on my ambassador page. And then I made another $1,100 this month. That's going into my account on the I think the 24th or something like that. But I got nailed for something. It said I did some kind of something. I
child porn or something.
I don't know what I did. I might have put a video, and then it just shut it down on me. Now I'm making $10 a month again.
Was that on Facebook or was that on?
Facebook.
What was that on?
It was Facebook.
Facebook.
Nice. And they.
Well, I was listening to you, and I got to tell you, I wish that we made that. I think the most I've seen in a month was like $120, $130. That I've seen. So we monetize our YouTube channel.
Yep.
Through Google AdSense. We don't have a way to monetize our Facebook. And that's a testament to
wait, why can't you monetize your Facebook? Again, I can't speak. I'd have to ask Nick a little bit more about it. But like for Instagram, for instance, like you have to kind of be invited to their content creator program. Yeah. So we have a business page that we can monetize, but it is monetized. But a lot of times, like, we use music.
Yep.
And right when you use music, it's like none of this can be monetized. So unless you're using original audio with no background, like think of all the fights we have. Yeah. Everybody has a walkout.
Yeah.
In between rounds, music. So, we hearing that you're making $1,700, it makes me think, I'm like, shit, I can maybe take the time to edit out the walkout songs and third-party music, and maybe we'd be able to get it. But like even the opening of our Table Titans show, that's a copyrighted music. So like when we play our trailer, it automatically makes the entire thing non-monetizable. So
Mike, I think that's exactly what happened to me. I might have put up a reel or something that had, I'm thinking it was all right to share because they give you the music or they let you. But I think once you monetize and you do that, maybe they say no. But I didn't know. It wasn't like I was sharing off the radio or sharing, like you said, a walkout with the song behind. It was a reel that I thought, I could do. But I guess they frown upon that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, it's like they're really strict, and you can lose access to your whole account. Like I know on YouTube, I can only speak to that. Like you can get copyright strikes.
Yeah.
Where Every time we upload a video, I get these emails. It's like, we're gonna let you put this video up with copyrighted music, but just so you know, the original music creator has access to your analytics, and at any point in time that they want to like monetize it, they get to monetize it and get the money, not you. There's so many tricky things, honestly. So I really don't put a ton of focus. But like a guy like Joe Giannetti, actually, he was invited to the Instagram creator portal for whatever, and he told me he was making some good money off of it, because depending on how many views your reels get, he would be able to make money off of it. So like we can monetize by making people subscribe to us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's a tricky thing. I never got into it, but you do such a good job with those viral memes. Like, a new one take off every week. You get 6 million views.
Yeah.
You make fucking $500 for doing, just sharing memes.
For doing nothing,
And
for
that's
sitting
what
there.
That's what happened with me. I made $600 off one meme, and I wasn't even looking. All I did was turn. I went onto the professional side of it, and I looked at, payouts or something, and it fucking showed I was like getting I started sharing memes. I was stealing everything at that point. I was like, hey, I could share just a picture, and I was making it. And then I think I just stepped over the bar. I got a little greedy, Mike. I got a little greedy.
Well, I always say that. People always ask me, like, for instance, like, why, what are you going to do with Cage Giants? Like, how do you grow? How do you get bigger? And it's just like, I feel like when people want more and more and more, that tends to lead to a lot of people's destruction.
Sure.
Everybody who's come along, just kind of segue into the MMA world, everybody who's come along and thought they were the next UFC or Strikeforce or Bellator, everybody that comes in saying that that's what they're going to be, they get too greedy, too big for themselves, and they end up falling on their face. We've always been just content on knowing who we are and like kind of being okay with what we're doing. So when people ask, what are you going to do bigger? It's like, listen, I'm just going to keep doing what we do. Mm-hmm. And with that will come success if that's down the line or bigger venues. Maybe one day it will come, but I'm not ever thinking about that. I'm thinking about what's in front of me and enjoying what I'm doing. I'm never trying to get too greedy or too big or too ahead of myself.
Excellent. Well, I went the other way.
You want to eat it all.
I was like, it's about time I got paid for this. I'm thinking, all this, I'm doing all right. You know what I mean? It's like, but I'm like $1,700 extra a month. I was like, what can I do with that?
Yeah,
I was
waste
like, holy
it.
shit.
Right at the casino.
I'm like fucking Florida vacations, everything. Everything was flashing,
Well, you see, that's people like when TikTok was going down, like, people make a living off that stuff. And it's just like, I laugh and I'm like, why the hell do you have time to like have friggin' edit a video of you getting dressed in the morning?
Seems like a lot of work. Yeah. Seems like
people, like you just mentioned, getting $600 for a view. It's like, fuck, man, you want to get dressed with me today? All right, cool. Let's get dressed and edit a video of making $600. I mean, it's wild with what you can do on these social media platforms.
It's nuts. Well, Mike, let's get to the fighting, man. We stayed away from it long enough, man. You got another huge card coming. Yep. It's fight week. It's Wednesday. What's going on, man? It's the end of the week. In the past you had, you had a bunch of stuff going on. What you got going on leading up to Saturday night?
Man, it's this is kind of, I don't want to say the calm before the storm. It's the calm before the storm for you guys that get to show up on fight night. For us, trying to get everything in order and getting, like today, Natalie Schlesinger flew into town from California. She flew in from LA. So just kind of, then we got a bunch of fighters coming in tomorrow. Kenyon Moore and Texera MMA, those guys. Ozzie Martin's coming into town.
Nice.
But yeah, man, it's just right now. It's just kind of getting all the graphics and kind of getting everything together so that once we have weigh-ins, then it's just like insert picture, make graphics, tails of the tape, coming up next, all the stuff that you see on fight night that comes out. It's just kind of making templates right now, getting that stuff ready. Today was a busy day getting everybody licensed at the Athletic Commission, which is always a hurdle. But yeah, so we're just kind of getting ready. It's just, this fight card's our first one of the year. It's been sold out since last week. Like, when we look back to Cage Titans 66, which, when it's all said and done one day for Cage Titans, we'll look back at Barrett versus Giannetti's card as probably one of the biggest ones we've ever done. Even that one didn't sell out till fight week. We've been sold out for 2 weeks before fight week. I think last year was a turning point for us, like 2024. We just kind of hit our stride. Like, before, we were kind of like, I say this, some people are like, come on, that's not true. But, like, quietly, I feel like we were just doing what we do. And it was like, that little, that Cage Titans promotion, you got to keep an eye on them. Like, they're kind of kicking ass and doing what they do. And I feel like in 2024, we really kind of burst out. And it's like, no, it's not like, oh, they did a good job. Nice job last time at your event. Now it's just expected. Like, this is who we are.
Oh, yeah.
We putting on banger fight cards. There's these very little filler to the fight card. There's not just one fight at the top, which is a highly anticipated, even matchup. There's 2 or 3 fights on every pro card that normally would be the only fight that you would probably be looking forward to. Now you're seeing guys like, Jack Condon and Ali Zabian. That's the third fight from the top.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
Easily headline any card in New England. And, it's the third fight on the card. When you got Pags and Sheamus at top. Same thing with us last event. We had UFC vets like Luis Pena, the 4th fight from the top, fighting Zach DiSabatino. Yep. It's like, you get a 12-4 guy versus a UFC vet who had a 5-3 winning record in the UFC, and that fight's the 4th on the card. Like, come on, man. And I think that's really what changed for us. Last year, it became the norm, these fights that are happening, and not the type of fights where in the past people be like, oh, I can't believe that's a great fight. I can't believe it's happening at Cage Titans. Or you're so lucky to see this great fight on Cage Titans. Now it's like, that's what you see at Cage Titans. And I think the fans are really coming along, and it's just the expectation from us. It just feels a little different now in 2025, kicking off this first card of the year. That's why tickets are just flying now. It's like, fans know when tickets go on sale, it's going to sell out. They're buying tickets. They know before the card even comes out, like, we're putting together a card. It's no more like, I wonder who's going to see. You're a band guy. I like to liken it to you because, me, I ramble. But, like, if there's a music festival, sometimes you might go, let's see who's on this music festival before I buy tickets.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is, they don't even know what bands are playing at our festival, and they're buying tickets. Yeah. They know we're going to come with something big. So
exactly.
I think that's the difference for us in 2025.
That's a good way to put it there with the festival. You just buy the ticket and fucking, you're going to have a good time.
Exactly. There might be somebody you really want to see more than the others, but they're all good.
You're going to have a great time.
And then you see a diamond in the rough or a band or a fighter that blows you away, or a fight that blows you away, like a band would. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You're like, holy shit, like a sleeper fight.
Good way to see new people.
You always have them, Mike, lingering around. I mean, you have so many highlight reels from past cards, not to mention the last card. I think another one went viral with that big kick from Whitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's crazy.
And also, Mike, you mentioned that your card is just expected to be the where it is, and you are expected to have these such and such fighters, or some of the guys that have been loyal to you or have been like Cage Titans family fighters that have they're almost on every card, or they 99% of the time they've only fought for you. But you have also become a feeder league for other leagues and bigger leagues, not to mention the UFC. But now you got Karate Combat, and then you got Joe Giannetti, you got Peter Barrett going to Karate Combat. You got a bunch of fighters that have been champions in your organization that are fighting for the UFC. Have a fight or two coming up pretty soon, man. How do you feel about that? Do you feel that you are kind of, one of those, one of those big league promotions now that these biggest leagues are looking at now for talent for the future?
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. First off, before I forget, I gotta say, Tommy.
Yes, sir.
Sorry that we're on no Triforce, guys.
I know.
Congratulations on your belt.
Oh, thanks, dude.
I heard you say that earlier.
Fuck yeah.
The Triforce guys wanted to enjoy the holidays, so they wanted to take this card off. But we should see Sammy Munez, Bill Portillo, maybe Saeed, Mike Cage Titans debut.
Oh, I would love that.
So, Richie and I are working for March. We're already booking March.
Fuck yeah. But a bunch of our guys got a bunch of black belts, too, so they're going to be hopefully coming back there,
Yeah, so we'll be getting some Triforce guys on.
Fuck yeah.
But, to your question, Steve, I try not to think of us as compared to anybody else. Like, oh, we're the biggest, or we're a big league, or we're not, I try not, I know this is just cliche and boring. I just look at us as, we're Cage Titans. We just do this. And what's been successful for our fighters, I will say, is just the consistency. Like, we have all our dates for the entire year. There's 6 dates for Cage Titans. And if you're a fighter, at the beginning of the year, you can put a plan in place to kind of see where your career is going to go. If you do your part and stay ready and stay in the gym and can stay healthy, January 25th is Cage Titans 69. March 22nd is Cage Titans 70. Like, every other month, it's the formula is there. And then if you start sprinkling in contender series shots, it's like, all right, we know by August they're looking for contender series guys. So if I'm 2-0 to start the year and Mike's got 3 cards before August, I could probably get to 5-0 before August and maybe get a shot at the contender. And then like in a guy like Jack Condon, who last year was 4-0, looking to take that title fight against Piersma, which he fell short in, and now he's 4-1. Instead of being discouraged that he just got his first loss and maybe now he's not getting on the contender this past summer, now he's like, all right, well, Mike has 5 cards before next year's contender. If I can get on 4 out of the 5, I'll be 8-1 when they're looking for contenders. So I'm not kind of sliding back too far. So I just think that the repetitions that we have is what's different. I don't know if we're any bigger or better, or my talent, scouting abilities any different than anybody else. I just think that guys have consistency with us. It's not, all right, January 25th this Saturday night, cool. And then after January 25th, the next day, it's like, when's the next Cage Titans show? I don't know. They've never, but, we'll find out in a few weeks when their next show is. It's, if I want to get on March and I came out of this Saturday healthy, I'm going to probably have to start getting back into the gym because his cards are every 8 weeks. So I just think consistency in this sport is what's helped us and helped the fighters especially. And am I doing anything differently? I don't think so.
Well,
they are the best. You guys are the best. Don't say you're not. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we know. We've been there. We go. You don't want to toot your own horn, but we'll say it.
Well, I actually, and again, I'm not to try to shoot myself in the foot. And maybe you can tell me to shove my humble pie up my ass. But yes, we do a great job. But also our venue.
Yep.
And I have nothing to do with our venue. Our venue is amazing. I will say our venue, that's the one brag. I will have no problem bragging. Our venue is second to none.
Yep.
To these other promotions. So our venue is a star in its own right, which has nothing to do with me and Cage Titans. So, humbly, it's just like, yeah, we do a great job, and yeah, we're the best. And it's like our venue and the vibe there plays a big part of who we are. And I always think to myself this: if I wasn't in such a great venue, would we have the same success? I don't know. Maybe we're hand in hand and we go with one another, but that's a late night conversation for me to think about sometimes.
That's like the old Belichick or Brady.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If somebody else went to Plymouth Memorial Hall, could they do what we do? Or if we went to, I'm not going to use somebody else's venue, but you name a venue. If I was at their venue, would the show be the same? Would we do it? I don't know. I guess as you bring that up, though, I fought on 2 promotions at Memorial Hall, and I guess I'm going to pump ourselves up a little bit. And their shows weren't the same as the cage fight.
Okay.
I'll say
No,
that. I fought for AFO at Memorial Hall, and I fought for Reality at Memorial Hall, and the vibe was just a little different than what we do. But who knows? Anyways, I digress.
That's wild that those two promotions were at
I
Plymouth
know.
Memorial
I was thinking
Hall.
the same
Like,
thing.
it's
Like
just-
there's been a while since anyone else fought there. I'm
it's
sure.
friggin' wild.
Well, that's kind of what brought me to love Memorial Hall. So, AFO did a show. Like AFO was all around. They were a Rhode Island-based company, but they did their shows at the Braintree Sheraton. It used to be the Castle Hotel before it got ripped down. And that's where I made my debut. And then they did some Mansfield shows, and they did one show at Plymouth Memorial Hall, and there was probably 300 people, and I think I sold 100 plus of the tickets. And they did one show and never went back again.
Yeah.
Reality did a lot of shows for a long time. I made my pro debut there, and again, maybe 500 people. And I remember, like, in the venue being like, this venue's amazing. It's so incredible for what we do, but maybe people just don't want to go to Plymouth. Like, I just was like, Plymouth is just too far down.
Yeah.
Who wants to go to the Cape, even though Plymouth's not the Cape? I just thought there was just way too much about the distance to travel to get to Plymouth. It was just a turn off. So that's why when I started Cage Titans, we didn't even think of that as a venue. But when it came up in 2011 and Reality Fighting eventually kind of realized, like, all right, we can't really sell tickets here. We're not doing a great job. We're going to leave the venue, and they moved on. When it became free, it was kind of like, let me give it a shot. I love this venue when I fought there. Let me see what we can do. And we made some tweaks. Like, I remember we just used to come out the side door. The first thing I did was, like, when you walk out to the cage, you're coming off the stage. Like, really feel that vibe. So there were some little tweaks that I had the luxury of, because I fought there, I was able to change when we went there. But there's been no looking back ever since.
Excellent. Well, Mike,
How many for a packed house that's coming up this Saturday? How many does that hold?
That you want my wrestling? The WWE wrestling number?
Yeah.
100,000 people.
Yeah,
number.
yeah.
I would say upwards of 2,000 people.
No doubt.
2,000.
That's
people.
cool.
How much?
You got to take into consideration. They have fixed seating, so it's not like other venues where we just roll out more chairs.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got to figure that all the staff. There's upwards of 2,000 people in that venue.
Yep.
You can look at the wall for the capacity certificate if you really want. But between staffing and all that stuff, there's upwards of 2,000 people in there, and then as well as sometimes during the events, people leave and people come.
Yeah,
so there's,
sure.
there's people flowing throughout the night. And sometimes we're at the luxury of kind of running a nightclub where, people come in, and then when they leave for the night, we'll kind of, if we have a line outside, all right, you're not coming back in, we'll cut those wristbands and sell tickets to more people. So upwards of 2,000 people, but it sounds like, 20,000
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
Because of
Exactly.
the acoustics and everybody's on top of each other. And it's all stadium seating with everything down. It really is an old school Coliseum.
It's super
the
cool.
way it's set up.
Well, Mike, I know you've basically used every inch of that place for either fans or fighters or media or just things going on in there. Can you possibly fit any more people in there? Are you where you are? Because I know you added seats or VIPs to the stage. You probably tweaked around the cage a little bit with the seating and stuff like that. But you unless you put an addition on that thing, you really can't fit any more people in there, right?
And yeah, man, it's very tough. So, like, it's funny you say that. I liken it to, Tommy, I think you mentioned you're a sports fan outside of just MMA, but,
Yep.
I liken it to Fenway Park. It's like the venue has such character, you don't want to leave it. But then at a certain point in time, you need, as costs go up and things like that, you've got to figure out more ways to bring in more seats or do something. Fenway built seats on the Monster,
Yep.
And built decks and extensions. We really don't have the opportunity to build stuff. But like you mentioned, we did do like stage VIP. So like there's little tweaks like that. But man, as you know, on fight night, it is stuffed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, us media people are standing around the sides, packed in. We're sitting in the bathroom.
We're everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. I mean, you could see it from everywhere.
About doing like a screen out front on summer days.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Like, and selling tickets to like a front pavilion, like at Fenway Park where they have like the street shut off, and once you have a ticket, you can get into the street. That is only for ticket holders. They kind of take that over. Where they have food and drinks and vendors and stuff. I've thought about extending our license to like the front pavilion and kind of roping off an area and doing like a little beer festival with a big screen. So, you're not all in the venue and there's other places.
That would be awesome.
So he is going to fit more people.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's his addition right there. The outside addition.
Stadium seats out there.
Well, Mike, let's talk a little bit about some of these fighters on this card. Let's talk about some of the young ones coming up, some of the excitement you have about, because that's your bread and butter. I mean, these new people coming up, making names for themselves, getting new fans in the building, because as these new people coming in, you got fighters that are revolving in the door, leaving, going to UFC, karate combat. Some might not be making another trip into your cage. So you need these new bodies, these new faces, and these new stars to kind of, blast off into the future. Talk about some of these people you're excited to have on your card and what we have to look forward to as far as some of these new studs out there.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up because that's something else that I've always preached. And you heard me say it a million times since we've talked. Like, you got to backfill the lot. Don Chanis, Tom Pags at the top of the card, but who on this card will be the next Don Chanis or Tom Pags or the Joe Giannetti? Is it Jack Congdon, Ozzy Martin, the guys like that? But then, like, as Ozzy's making his pro debut this card, who's that guy that might be capturing an amateur title this year? Who's taking Ozzy's place? Who's debuting this card that will, 2 shows from now, is going to be an undefeated guy fighting for an amateur title? So, like, you're absolutely right. You got to backfill the lot. You got to backfill the talent so that they don't eventually just all graduate, and then you're standing there like, well, what do we do?
But everyone go.
You got to cultivate that atmosphere and the talent. So, in particular, I could say everybody on the card I'm looking forward to. That's usually my thing. That's one thing I always say. I never want to shine light on one person more than anybody else because everybody, all 32 fighters, they're equally as important, whether you're the main event or the O&O. But, I'll highlight a few. Matt Martinez, Pikachu. He had an amazing, knockout of the year performance last year. He started off a little rocky as an amateur. Now he's sitting at 3-2. He's had a few Muay Thai fights. He's really progressing a lot with his skill set, his confidence. He's really somebody that, he's 3-2 now. If he picked up a win here, he could be fighting for an amateur title or going pro. His skills have really evolved that well. He's taking on a guy, Johnny Gomez, out of the Marandola Martial Arts. And Johnny is only 1-0. So he's given up some experience, but it just kind of tells you the confidence that this kid has, that as a 1-0 guy, he's taking on, a 5-fight veteran in MMA. And Matt Martinez also has 3 or 4 amateur Muay Thai fights. So, he's given up a ton of experience. But Johnny Gomez from Marandola, the confidence is super high. He had amateur submission of the year nominee last year. So I think this fight is one of those ones where you got 2 high-level amateurs that are going at it that could make some waves. So that's a fun one. I'd be missing out if I didn't talk about Jordan Tavares out of Regiment Training Center, 2-1, taking on Gavin O'Connell from Connors MMA. Jordan's making his Cage Titans debut, but he's fought on CES and a couple other promotions. He's friends over at Regiment with Jorgen De Castro. They all speak highly of this kid Jordan. So I'm excited to kind of get my eyes on him and see what we can bring to the cage. And he's got a super tough test in Gavin O'Connell. In regards to Gavin, Gavin, he's training with Connors MMA. He trains with Tyler King and Jesse McElliott. And Connors is a school that doesn't have a ton of fighters, but when they do, they're ready to go. So that's what excites me about this fight. And as for, going back to Jordan and Regiment Training Center, it's like they're really emerging lately. You know, you had Mitch Raposo that we all knew about. We all knew about Jorgen. And then Carter Whitty blasts on the scene last year with 2 viral knockouts. He won Knockout of the Year. He was nominated for 2 out of the 4 knockouts of the year. First place was him. Second place was him.
That's pretty good.
So the kid has had a stellar year. In Regiment, you know, it's a great vibe in that gym right now with all the success they're having. So Jordan's just another guy. There's 3 Regiment training fighters on this card. So, you know, the vibes are going to be good with those guys. So that's another fight at 170 I'm excited for. Another one, Eder Gomes. He's been a stud, 2-0. He's looked really great in his last 2 fights. He's super young, super talented, has no real other athletic background. He just picked up this sport, and he's looked unstoppable. He's taken on Tristan Wood, who's 2-1 from Jake Pilla's Guerrilla Crew.
We know them.
And Jake Pilla, you know him. He's a friend of the show.
Yep.
That guy is a killer himself, and he breeds killers inside the gym, him and Sean Graham. So I'm excited to see Tristan Wood make his Cage Titans debut and take on somebody like Eder Gomes. So that's another one. As for some O&Os on the card, that could be the next amateur stock. Taking a quick look, you know, you look at Jack Barry from Ascension Athletics, Jeff Haddad's school. You know them pretty well. They've been doing a lot of things down there. They've opened up their gym a few weeks ago to an open to all fighters cross training fight team day on a Saturday where they had guys from New England Cartel and everywhere. And so I'm excited to see Jack Barry because Jeff Haddad was a beast when he was fighting back in the day. And he's still competing at high level jiu-jitsu. So and Jack Stapleton's over there. So yeah, they really know what it takes to be a great fighter. So I have high hopes for him out of Ascension. You know, so that's a kid maybe to keep an eye on. A name that a lot of people know. She's been around for a while. Tara Wamsley. She's out of Regiment. She was over at Lausanne. She's bounced around a few schools. She's been training for a long time, praying for this day. This girl literally put her name in every card last year. And female fighters are just very tough locally to find. But she's finally making her debut, and she's taking on Ariana Bucciaccio out of USMMA.
Another good school. Another real good school.
Ashley Barrett, Hillary Rose is another girl. You know, and it's funny. We talked earlier, or I mentioned earlier, how I backfilled a lot. Look at USMMA. They got, you know, Hillary Rose, who's a 15 pro fight veteran. Next in line is Ashley Barrett, who's, you know, 2 or 3 fights into her pro career. And then right behind Ashley Barrett, we have Ariana, who's making her amateur debut. And the progression there is kind of what I was talking about, what we do at Cage Time. So Ariana Bucciaccio, I'm excited to see her and Tara Wamsley, you know, compete. We actually have 3 female fights on this card. That's
good.
Which is a rarity to have one. Never mind 3.
It's like every female MMA fighter in the state.
Santos, Jake Pilla's Guerrilla Crew, Melissa Santos. She's a huge knockout up at Combat Zone. Some great heavy hands. She's taking on Alyssa Totora out of Lausanne MMA. Alyssa had an amazing debut for us last year. Huge hip toss, ground and pound. When she took on Stan Maella out of Russell Leak School. Alyssa was giving up a ton of experience in her debut, but Lausanne was confident in her ability, and she made it look easy. So that's a fight to kind of circle, like, okay, this could be a good one.
Hey, just a little fact here. Miss Santos, Jake Pilla's protege there, right there. It's fun. It's awesome to know these people are fight, but what they do outside is a job. You know, she's an airline stewardess.
Oh, nice.
I'm so happy you say that, but not happy you say that because I don't think it's politically correct to call them stewardess.
What do you call? What are they? Sorry.
Flight attendant.
Flight attendant? Is it flight? What do you call them now?
Flight attendant.
It's flight attendant. So it's
Steve Domenico, Mr. PC over here.
What the fuck do I know?
Hey, listen, have you seen? I'm not trying to get on Melissa Santos' bad.
Yeah, right. No, definitely not.
He said it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this guy over here.
I don't even know why that's. I'm sure there's a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason why. I don't even know why that's a bad word, but
yeah, maybe because.
But yeah, I love that you brought that up because I love talking about who these people are outside of the cage.
Yeah.
Because we get to see that barbarian side on fight night where when you're the outside looking in, it's like, oh, look at these barbarian fighters. It's like, nah, man, we're real people. You talk about her, who's a flight attendant. We've had teachers that have fought for us. We had a principal who fought for us.
Yeah.
All walks of life in regards to what these, people do. Pat Gilbride was an engineer making six figures.
Yeah.
We just happen to like to get our competitive juices flowing in combat as opposed to go and pick up basketball or however other people. It's a sport to us, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Hell yeah.
Excellent. Well, let's get to some of these highlighted pro fights you got. You mentioned Ozzy Martin coming in, making his pro debut against a tough dude. His record doesn't show it, but Ron Marshall has fought a ton of beasts on the circuit. And one thing when I saw the fight announced, Ron Marshall, has he fought as high as heavyweight or light heavyweight? He's been up there in the weight classes, and now he's taking on Ozzy at 170 pounds, correct?
Yeah, so that's an interesting thing. When this fight, when Ron reached out to me, you got to remember, Ron fought for us. He made his Cage Titans debut in 2016. And then in his second fight, he took on Fabio Charant back at Cage Titans 29, and he beat Fabio via decision. He fought William Knight as an amateur. He fought Fabio Charant, again as an amateur, again as a pro. This kid's been around, and he's fought heavyweights, light heavyweight. So when he reached out to me a couple months ago, he was like, listen, I had a kid. My daughter really wants to see me fight. Back in the day when I was fighting, I was just kind of fighting for the fuck of it. Like, I really wasn't training like I should have been doing. I wasn't dieting like I should. And, when my daughter kind of asked me to fight, and wanted to see me, I think this is my chance. I'm going to put it all in there and see what happens. And in training and with that motivation, he started losing weight, and now he's a welterweight.
That's unreal.
And, in typical Ron fashion, he's not looking for any easy path. And, when Ozzy's name came up, he was just like, listen, you've known me. Though I'm a different weight class and I have a different mindset in regards to training and doing what I need to do to get in the cage, my mindset hasn't changed. You just tell me who I'm fighting, and I don't ask questions. I don't say no. I don't say, let me research, all the excuses others have. The answer is yes. Whoever you give me, the answer is yes. So I always love that about Ron. But he's connected with Dom Fiandaca, who he trained with early in his career, back when he was victorious over Fabio. He's kind of got back to his roots a little bit, and he's got the motivation. So I'm telling you, man, he's ready to shock the all. Maybe in the past, he was a tough out, but you might have looked at him as all right, he's coming in as the opponent. He's probably he's gonna put up a fight, but the other guy's gonna win. He's coming to win.
Yeah.
And he's putting it all out there. He's never sold a single ticket in the entire time he's fought. He's fought for us probably 6, 7, 8 times. He's bringing a crew of almost 50, 60 people.
Nice.
And that just shows he wants to put on a show and wants to put on a performance. And I'm excited for it. But let's be real, with all that praise and accolades for Ron and his mindset, Ozzy Martin is an absolute stud.
Yeah, he's a beast.
And he's had an incredible amateur career. He won Fight of the Year in 2023 for his performance against Brody McDougal. He won Fight of the Year this year in 2024 against Jaden Curley. He was Fighter of the Year in 2024. This kid's an absolute menace. He's got dynamite in his hands. This kid, he's just mean. He wants to hurt you. He's a fighter to his core. And he's got an amazing support system around him. His dad was a boxer. They own a ranch up in New Hampshire. So, he has the ability to put all his time and effort into training. And he's looking to make a big splash in his debut. And he knows it's not an easy task. Even the team was like, it's a little harder of a pro debut that we'd like. We kind of want to – usually most guys want to get one under their belt, so to speak, when they go pro. But, yeah, man, he's ready to go, and I'm excited to see what he brings.
Excellent. One thing about Ron Marshall, I believe I was at his last fight, which I believe was CES fight, where he made he upset CES's guy. And it was I forgot where it was. I don't know if it was Connecticut or
they had the brawl and they were throwing.
Yeah, they were the whole friggin' crowd was throwing beers into the cage,
Wow.
and then Jimmy Senior came out. Stop it! Stop it! In the middle of the cage. But yeah,
like Hulk
Ron
Hogan
Marshall,
style.
which is possible, he turned the whole crowd upside down, and they were mad at him. They were mad at him, and they were throwing beers at Ron. So Ron is not afraid to go into hostile territory at all and upset the the home crowd. That's for sure.
Hilarious.
Dude, I remember seeing those videos. They had to like get him out of this.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, there was some like biker connection.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
Yikes.
And they were not happy. And I remember Jimmy Senior pleading with the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Ron's the real deal, man. He's ready to go. And Ozzy's ready to go too. I think this is a great fight. For Ozzy. I think it's a great fight for Ron. If Ron can kind of silence the crowd here, it's a feather in his cap and kind of a testament to what he can do when he puts his mind to something and really puts the right focus in. As for Ozzy, if he can get this, fight out of the way and get up a big victory, he took out a veteran. It's a huge feather in his cap as well. And it's not one of those wins where you walk away. It was like sometimes you see guys in their first few fights like just walk to the cage, you're winning. I don't think that's the case here for Ozzy. I think, obviously his confidence is high. He does think he's going to win, but this ain't a lay-down type fight. So I think for both guys, it's an incredible matchup.
Excellent. Well, Mike, let's quickly go over like a couple of last fights. Definitely got to talk about Don Chanis. And and you had a fight fall through that we're all happy to, really looking forward to see your title fight. The return of the party was coming. With Valdina, man. Let's get to that first. Valdina.
Love those guys, both of
making
them.
his mark in the region and taking on a huge task in the party for that title fight, man. Let's talk about how excited you were for that fight, and it didn't happen, and it's I don't know what's going on in the future, but let's talk about the little disappointment that we didn't see the party make his return and defend that title, but. First, talk about, how excited you were about that fight and what were you thinking about it? You know what I mean? As far as, the young stud in Valdina and the party, the veteran who, shut down the crowd every time he's been in Plymouth Memorial Hall.
I mean, it's so hard to talk about the fight because it's definitely saddening that it's not happening. But it's also a testament to the strength of the cards that we're doing now, where that doesn't make the fight card crumble and you're like, shit, that was the only one I'm looking forward to. And so it's a testament to the cards that we've been building lately. But yeah, I was excited because I'll tell you the truth, like I said it in the lead up when we made the announcement last event, like Valdina wanted the party and everybody around him said no. Bad fight for you, Valdina. You're 6-0, you're a young hot prospect. Like, we could take easier fights, that aren't as difficult as the party. People were like, yeah, man, let's go with different paths. Like, your path doesn't have to go through the party. Because, not that you can or cannot beat them, but you're in a fucking fight when you fight the party. That kid brings it each and every time. He's undefeated at Memorial Hall. We've seen him take out Duma, Lionel, Bruno, Pat Gilbride. Like, the names keep going. Like, this kid's he's a tough night for anybody. You're going to go home, whether you win. If you win, you're still going home being like, I was in a fucking fight. And you're going home beat up and busted. So, but Valdina just kind of told everybody, like, yeah, coaches, yeah, managers, like, no, I'm good. I want this fight. And I'm taking it. Like, it's like, on one hand, you're like, hey, listen, man, you should listen to the people around you. And sometimes you're too tough for your own good. On the other hand, it's like, the fucking balls and confidence on it. Like, that told me everything we need to do. So when we put that fight together, Party on the other side was like, hey, listen, man, I'm ready to come home to Plymouth. I've been making big bags of money, fighting at Game Bread and Karate Combat, stuff like that. But I'm undefeated at the Hall. I never lost that belt. Give me whoever. And, we talked about a few names and we landed on Valdina. It was kind of a match made in heaven. Obviously, with Valdina coming down with the injury, that was a very difficult call that I received. But some things happen for a reason. I mean, not only is he now nursing that injury, and he's probably going to be on the sidelines for a little bit. The party has a couple things going on in his life that, like, he was obviously going to go through with the fight, but it just sometimes things happen for a reason, and I think when they're still chirping. When we go live on Table Titans, I'll see Party kind of being like, Valdina versus me, like, they're not getting your ass kicked, and they're taking playful jabs.
Yeah.
So when the fight happens, it will be great. I mean, Valdina's box office, the Party's box office.
Oh yeah.
Matching those two together is going to be a win-win for everybody.
Is Joe going to be in the house, or he's not making the trip? He's not
making the trip up right now.
Yep.
We were going to have him come up back in November. Having him come up for January was probably not going to happen because it doesn't look like the fight would be able to get rescheduled for March. Because Valdina is going to need a little bit more time to recover. So if this gets when the slate for this to get remade is probably the May card, Cage Titans 71. That's where Valdina is targeted his comeback with this injury. So maybe March we'll bring him up because then we'll be a little closer to that next card, and maybe we'll get him back. We'll get him face to face in the cage. But that's still a fight that is on our radar. Valdina, he did what he had to do when he pulled out. He said to me, he's like, listen, if you still need to book Party somewhere else and it doesn't happen for me and you need to give him someone else, I respect you, Mike. I respect your business. And I know the show goes on. It doesn't revolve around me. But, I told Valdina, I said, listen, man, this is the fight I want. This is the fight the fans want. We'll wait.
Excellent. Yeah.
Whenever that happens, that'll be a great
that
one.
place is going to erupt.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, Tommy's going to have to go to work.
Called me out.
About a couple more things. I want to talk quickly about Jack Condit because he's coming back after a huge fight for the title against John Piersma. He ain't taking no easy road. You know what I mean? He's taking on a stud in Ali Zebian who's been in your cage numerous times. Talk about this fight. I mean, this is just... It was surprising to me to see them two matched up. You know what I mean? Jack coming off a loss like that, but getting right back on the horse and taking on a stud. Not an easy fight here because we all know what Ali brings and, the accolades and the promotions he's fought for and some of the upsets he's had in your cage and in other cages as well, man. What are you thinking about this fight and how are you excited about it? Kind of, one of your young studs against one of your older veterans out there.
It's funny you say that, but Ali's not even that old.
No.
No.
He's been fighting a long fucking time. Like, this kid's fought everybody. It's always fun having Ali in the mix. My biggest disappointment, and it's not, I say this so hopefully it doesn't come off the wrong way, but like my biggest disappointment is we don't get Ali more. Like, I remember when he came to us after COVID. I think he fought on the first card since COVID, or the second, and he came up with that huge upset against Barrett. And he comes out victorious, and he calls out Giannetti, and I was like, man, like, Ali's somebody we can build around it.
Yeah.
Ali in the lightweight division at Cage Titans is fun. Him, Giannetti, Barrett rematch, D. Sabatino, we had him fight Bone. It's just like, it's fun when Ali's around because he's an interesting matchup, and he has the ability to beat anybody on any given day. So my biggest disappointment is we don't get him more. So, he had that big fight against Barrett, and then we had some time away. And he had that fight with Jacob Bone that he was winning pretty handily in the first 2 rounds, and he gets caught in a guillotine. He's fought at PFL, he's fought at NEF, he's fought everywhere, titles. But he had a status up, and it was just like, no one will fight me, what the fuck? And somebody screenshotted it and sent it to me, and I immediately texted Ali. I go, hey, I saw your status. Like, what's up, man? He's like, it's so funny. I was frustrated last night, and I was going to hit you up, but I figured I'd wait till today. And I'm like, well, somebody saw your status and sent it to me. January 25th, what do you got? He's like, you know what? I'm going to probably go back down to 55, but January, let's do 170 again. And I was like, all right. With 15 pro fights, We had Ozzie Martin, but he's a debut. Brody McDougal's always in the mix. He's 1-1. The amount of fights that you have, it's kind of hard to find a guy.
Yeah.
The only guy I can think of is Jack Congan. He's like, yeah, I'll take him. And I was like, you want to think about it? You want to talk to the team? He's just like, nah, I'm good. I'm in. I was like, okay. And that's kind of how the fight, and that's kind of Ali, man. He's never really scared of anybody. He really doesn't say no to anybody. He just was like, just so matter of fact, like, yeah, no problem. I was like, the only guy I have is probably Jack, but like, give me a day or so. And I think that was my wording. The only guy I have with a lot more than like 2 or 3 fights that would even be close to your amount of experience would be Jack. But give me a few days, I'll come up with a name. And he was just kind of like, I'll take him. And he didn't even give me a day to come up with any more names. He's like, I'll take him. So yeah, this fight's exciting because, going to Jack's a stud. He was undefeated as an amateur, undefeated as a pro up until he ran into Piersma. And but I thought we saw a lot out of him in that Piersma fight. Piersma is just, he's head and shoulders above the rest in the welterweight division locally. But Jack was able to hang with him. And Jack obviously lost the match, but we saw a lot of Jack competing against a high-level guy. And then he came back and he beat the guy, Kyron Bowen, in his very first return fight since his first loss of his career. And that guy was on the Ultimate Fighter, Contender Series, PFL, and he made it look easy.
Yeah.
So Jack's been a stud. Why I'm excited about this matchup, though, is if you look at Piersma's style, that grinder, big shots, take you down, control you, it's kind of what Ali is.
Yes.
Ali is big shots, heavy wrestler, will take you down, grind you out. So we saw Jack come up short against Piersma, which was the same style. How has he improved in the 6 to 8 months since that fight? And here he is fighting a very similar fighter, style-wise, in Ali Zabian. So I think we're going to learn a lot about Jack. We already know about Ali. He's game, and he can fight anybody, and he's going to make it a competitive fight. And if he wins and upsets Jack, he's dropping a 55 next card, or he might be inclined to stay at 70.
Yeah.
He calls out Piersma. Maybe he goes down to 55 and calls out Barrett. Says, I already beat you once. Now you get the belt. I want it. Maybe he fights DSAB. So there's a lot of fun for both guys. And as for Jack, he made it through the interview rounds for the Ultimate Fighter at welterweight. He didn't obviously get on the show, but he's on the UFC's radar.
Okay.
Sitting at 5-1. A big win over a big veteran like Ali is a huge win for him, especially coming off his last win against another Contender Series guy. So he's really positioned himself to kind of make it to the next level if he wins here. So great fight for both guys. Really great fight for both guys.
Excellent. Yeah, I was like, when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's a great fight. I like Ali.
Yep.
Very, very, very mellow guy, very soft-spoken, not a man of many words. As far as Ali, is he doing his own kind of managing at this point? Is he having some people helping him out, or is he kind of calling his own shots now? Because I know he's bounced around with different managers or people. I don't think... just to be honest, I don't think Ali's had the best handlers handling his career in the past. You know what I mean? So I'm just hoping he's in good hands, or he's calling his own shots. You know anything about that? Well, I imagine you do. You talk.
I say, damn, he hasn't had the best handlers. Didn't your old management come through?
Well, yeah, I mean, no. I mean, no. I mean, besides that.
That's what he's talking about.
Besides that.
You had shitty handles in the past besides the time you got.
Yes. Because I think he won a fight or two with us, or I don't know. It was more live, you know what I mean? But
I hate to get into like that stuff about guys, but we call it spade a spade. You mentioned it. Ali kind of goes to his own beat. He runs his own gym. He's the head coach of his own gym, his own fight team. Often manages himself. Like I said, he'll fight for us this show, and next show he's fighting. Yeah. Another promotion. He kind of does his own thing, and I mean, the kid's had success though. Like it's insane. Like sitting at 10-5, and he's only had a couple. He's had a couple skids in his last few. But at one point, he was like a 9-2
Yeah.
prospect. Almost in the PFL tournament. So the kid has all the talent in the world and a ton of upside. But I think what he's always missed maybe is like the consistency, because he'll fight, he'll blast on the scene, bang out 2 fights, and then be inactive for a year. And I truly believe staying with the promotion and staying on like a course schedule is really helpful for guys. You look back, we talked about Piersma. Piersma was a very similar guy. Like, he bounced around everywhere and he was a beast, but he really didn't click or stick with any one promotion. And then a year ago, he comes to Cage Titans in January, fights, wins, earns himself a title fight. He comes back the very next card, wins the title, comes back the very next card, and defends the title. Not even a couple weeks later, he's on the road to the UFC show. If you stick with a course, you stay active, you bang out a few wins, you get some recognition, that's good for your career. And that's always advice I try to give fighters. If you can do it, stay the course. When you have these big gaps, I don't feel like big gaps in guys' careers on the local level when they're trying to get to the next, stage is always that helpful.
Well, my man, let's get to your main event and get us out of here. A fight that I didn't see happening. Sooner than later. Don Shainis against Mr. Pags there. This is his making his debut in your cage, correct? Tom Pagliaro.
Yeah. Wild. So Tom Pags has been fighting for a while now, and but he's done all his work up north. He was at the last Cage Titans, and that was his first Cage Titans event he ever even been to.
Okay, nice.
Cool. Is always, when people are always like, oh man, you guys do the best. It's like, there's still people out there that have not been to our show. Yeah. And a name like Tom Pags reminds me, real quick. I was like, you never been to a Cage Titan? He's like, I've always heard it was different, but this place is insane. I'm like, you've never been here all the years that we've been here and you've been fighting? So it's always a gentle reminder when I get interactions like that, we're the center of our own universe. There are other universes going on out there in the MMA world. But Tom Pags, man, this kid is a stud. He's at New England Cartel. We had him on the podcast before and just kind of telling his story and how he connected with the cartel during COVID and, was just looking for bodies to work. And that's what Calvin and Font were looking for. And they would call him and be like, hey, we're going to a gym. We'll be there in 20 minutes. We need bodies. You coming? And he would just get up and go. And he really got inside that inner circle of the cartel. And it's been a tremendous training partner for those guys and a staple, though not in Plymouth, a staple in New Hampshire and a combat zone. 7-2 record. He held 2 titles as amateur, NEF and combat zone. So this kid is a stud. And the interesting thing that I love is that we would very rarely see these type of fights where there's 2 locals going at it. I think you agree, in years past, it was who's the out-of-stater coming to fight the hometown?
Yeah.
And, we're starting to see, these guys looking across New England being like, I might run paths against Pags. I might run paths against Shainis. And I'm excited for it to happen. It kind of fell in my lap a little bit. We floated this fight a few times, and for whatever reason, it just never kind of materialized. And going into the November show, Tyson hit me up and was just kind of like, hey, I know we talked about Pags versus Shainis. What do you think? And I'm like, what do you mean what do I think? I offered that to you before. You guys, it didn't happen. He's like, no, that wasn't because we didn't want it. It was because of this. And I was like, all right, well, if you guys are in, I'll try to make it happen. Leading up to Don's fight in November, he had 3 names he was going to call out. And, I floated the Pags name at him. And he had 2 others that he was dead set on calling out. And he would always talk to me every time he fights, again, having a path, again, circling back to what I talked about earlier. He already knows what he wants to do. He already knows there's a March 22nd date. But though he's very focused on this card, he's also has a plan.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to go in March. So like back in November, he's like, all right, I'm going to fight this guy. When I win, these are 2 names I'm thinking about calling out. And I'm like, well, I'll give you a hint. One guy was fighting that night, so who knows if he wins or loses, if that call out's going to be relevant. And then the other guy is deciding between 2 weight classes. So I'm like, I don't even know if he's going to settle at your weight class, so that might be a weird call out. I said, but we talked pads before. You said yes. They couldn't take it. I said, he's going to come. He's going to be in the crowd. You call out who you want to call out of those 3, and we'll put it together. And I remember Pags coming up to me, and we were talking. He's like, is this going to happen? I'm like, Pags, I don't fucking know. I'm like, Sheamus beat, dances to his own beat. Who knows what he's going to do? Let's see if he wins. And then when he does, who the hell knows what this kid's going to say? And, but he grabbed the mic, and he played ball, and he knew Pags was there. He called him out, and this fight came to fruition, and I couldn't be happier. Both guys have trained with a lot of similar people, Connor Matthews, and at one point in time, I remember being out in Vegas once, coincidentally at the same time as the New England Cartel, and Sheamus was traveling with them, training with those guys probably in like 2019 when they were first kind of like starting and stuff. So they've had a lot of similar training partners. They know what each other is going to want to do. It's who's going to implement their game plan and who's going to show up on fight night. I mean, Tom wants to get to the UFC. He sees his big brother, so to speak, Calvin and Font being there and having success. Connor Matthews, Nick Fiore, he wants to be there. Sheamus has been there. Sheamus got the taste and wants to get back. But Pags is like, I want to be where you were. So they're both in the way of each other's dreams. And so unfortunately, somebody's going to get a setback, either, Sheamus or Pags on Saturday night.
That's an exciting
that's
big
a huge
fight
one,
right there.
The place is going to go nuts.
It is going to be Sheamus, Sheamus asking you for, well, I know you're sold out, but was Sheamus asking you for more tickets toward the end of the deadline there, or what?
Dude, man, tickets were wild for the show. Yes, it's funny because I hit up Pags, because Pags sold a solid amount of tickets coming down from New Hampshire, and he was just like, I asked him he's like, why, you trying to get my tickets to give to Sheamus? He was just like, kidding, kinda. And I respect the shit out of Pags to like throw that little joke in there, and I'm like, yeah, no, and Sheamus brings the crowd for sure, and it's amazing because he lives in Vegas full time and training out at Syndicate. He training with Marab, who I heard you guys talking about the fights this weekend. Yeah. Great fight by Marab, retaining the title. Yep. So like Sheamus is training out with killers, but Sheamus is always trying to pull something and sell salesmen something and selling sponsorships and handing out waters or whatever the fuck he's doing. He's one of a kind. Telling me how one day he's going to be part of Cage Titans, and when he's done fighting, he's going to take it global. I'm like, yeah, okay.
That's freaking awesome. There's another marketing genius for you, Michael.
Yeah, he does a great job.
Yeah, he does. I told him years ago when I was first like interviewing him, I said you should do like a podcast how to market yourself as a fighter, or how to teach up and comers how to market themselves, because that guy this is his living. He makes a living out of fighting and getting his fans and people to buy his merchandise and all that other stuff.
You know what it is? It truly. Well, he also lives in. He was a bartender at a bar here in Plymouth. So I hear his name a lot around town. He really lives the nickname. The guy's shameless. And to be a salesman, you gotta be like, fearless and shameless. Like, you're gonna call 50 leads to ask them to sponsor you, and 49 are gonna not take your call and hang up or whatever. And you gotta be like, no shame in your game to pick up that phone the 50th time and the 51st and the 52nd, or door-to-door salesman. Like, you gotta be shameless. Like, I'm knocking on every door in this fucking neighborhood, no matter how many people turn their sprinklers on when I'm walking to the door or slam the door in my face. I'm still gonna go. And that's what it takes to be a salesman. And he has that about him. Like, This kid in the last 2 events, now that he lives out in Vegas, his phone service has gotten shut off because they thought he was a spam account. And this is the second event in a row. He had to register his phone as a business and all this crazy shit because he text messages people so many times. It's insane, man. It is. He's really shameless, and he hustles and he puts his nose to the grindstone. And that's the hard part. Like, he can tell everybody what to do, but internally, you have to have that in you to be that type of salesman as Jameis. Like, he can tell you guys all what he does, but it really just boils down to he's dialing. Like, he'll tell me on Monday he text messages A through D in his contact list, and then he does E through L on Tuesday. Then he goes M through like. He brought me through. Like, this is what this fucking kid does.
24/7.
You can't teach that. You need to have that.
Yeah, exactly. He's a go-getter. He's
grinder.
Ambitious as fuck. That's for sure.
Yeah, he grinds.
Good for him. And like I said, meeting him years back, I met him at a Bellator. He's making his debut for Bellator, and he was working it then, working the crowd, working me. Mm-hmm. He was working me that night, that guy. It was awesome. I think I actually sponsored him his next fight after that. I gave him a few $100 to sponsor him. I was like, you sold me, kid.
I love it. I'll ask you this, Steve. And I say this with all love, Seamus. You fought for us a bunch of times, so if he ever catches this, did you sponsor him because you wanted to sponsor him, or you were just like, give this kid a couple $100 to get the fuck away?
No, I knew he could get me a fucking ton of people to friggin' follow me or whatever. And he came through. He was like tagging me and everything. I was like, wow, this guy was me. And then he loved me for it. You know what I mean? We became great friends from there. Because, he trusted me. Like, I was real to him. You know what I mean?
He's funny. I've watched him in action at Main Street Sports where he was bartending, and I even felt dirty. It's like, this is this guy, Hammond, and he's like, oh man, this is the owner of Cage Signs, you should come to the fights, buy tickets, and I'm like, this guy can barely fucking stand.
Yeah.
And Don just literally, like, the guy's like, oh, how much you need? He's like, this, like, friggin'
just taking the money.
And, like, he can barely talk, and he just holds his wallet open, and Seamus is like, 20, 40, 60, sticks the ticket in his wallet, just fucking takes
That's
the guy's
fucking
money.
awesome.
And I'm like, dude, that guy's not going to remember. He goes, that's the beauty of it. He goes, guy's fucking hammered. He's going to wake up tomorrow and not know what he bought, but he's going to see a ticket for Cage Titans in his wallet, and he's like, hey, cool, at least I got something out of the night.
Yes.
I feel dirty doing that.
It's fucking shame. Hey,
shameless.
Good for him, man. He's a good, like I said, ambitious or whatever the hell he
we
is.
get some of that shameless merch around here.
All right, Mike, let's leave off with what you got in store for as far as weigh-ins, the rest of the week. Anything you want to throw out there as far as, I know there's no tickets left, but you have the stream, all that good stuff. Is there betting on this card? Are we still going through all that and stuff?
Yeah, so BetMGM will probably post the odds, I think, Saturday morning. They typically do it. We had our odds maker meeting on Monday. So the odds have been set, and they've been sent out to the betting sites. BetMGM is the one that's really kind of taken a liking to Cage Titans and the action that it's been bringing in. And so BetMGM, they actively look for our odds now and reach out to us at us expectation for the odds. So pretty sure they're going to be dropping the odds first thing on Saturday morning. So you'll be able to get the odds on BetMGM. BetMGM's been a cool partnership, and it's fun. It's just another level. Everybody nowadays loves to gamble and just put a little extra on stuff. Between fantasy football and all that stuff.
I just won my fantasy league.
Massachusetts. So, BetMGM, you'll be able to get the odds, maybe make some money, put some parlays down, whatever the gambling terms are. So, BetMGM. As for the weekend itself, weigh-ins are at Plymouth Memorial Hall on Friday, open to the public. So, if you want to come down, check us out, see the fighters one last time. We've been doing a live on weigh-in day where we have a camera studio set in the back, and we'll bring every fighter in front of the camera and kind of talk to the public, take questions and things of that nature. So we'll be doing that starting at noon on Friday. So We'll do that at noon. The ceremonial weigh-ins will be at 1. And then on fight day, we have our normal stuff. You've been to it before, the pregame bash, Second Wind Brewing. It's a couple blocks up from the hall. They've been brewing our beer, Cage Titans Fight Night IPA, for years now. So they do the pregame party, start at noon. And then hall passes open at 4. Regular doors open at 5. First fight at 6. And then after the fights, have it on the wharf. Get to hang out with all of us and see the fighters kind of in a more relaxed atmosphere and get to hang out. And it's always been a lot of fun going to the after party, as you know.
Yeah, and watching fighters that just went to war in the cage, having a beer together and becoming friends, and some training partners, and just really good friends. Cage Titans does that, man.
Still bleeding and shit.
We've seen fights come together
Yes.
at the after party.
Oh yeah.
I think Piersmer and Congdon.
Yes.
After Congdon won, Piersmer won the belt. I think at the after party was kind of like we kind of grabbed them and was like, yeah, like we're gonna do this. Yeah, okay, let's go. And again, I don't say that to scare people, being like, oh, you get fights at your after party.
Yeah.
No, like it was a mutual respect. Like, I'm in your division, you won the title. Like, there's no one fighting at the after party.
And there's also been fighters that don't like each other that much who've went face to face at the after party, wanting to fight each other, and it was still very I don't want to say relaxed, but we knew it was under control. Like there's no outbursts, there's nothing like that there. Fighters get to say what they want, and they know they're not gonna, get a chair over their head or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you could say what you want, you could call whoever you want, and like you said, fights get made sometimes at time after parties.
Yeah, man. I just like the after party because, for me, it's like there's a lot of work that goes into these fight nights for the fighters, for the staff, for us. So it's like once the show's over, like you guys have been there hanging out, enjoying this entire night and having a blast doing it. For us fighters, like, you guys have been having a great time the whole night. Like now we're ready to unwind. Yeah. So, it's fun. So you kind of get to see everybody in a different type of light. Your fighter friend that has been uptight, stressing or whatever the case may be, getting ready, not going out with you guys on the weekends because he's preparing for the fight. Now he's finally able to let loose. So it's a good time. But yeah, so that's kind of the weekend festivities. Obviously, tickets are sold out. The only thing we have left, I was trying to look while we were talking, but we probably have less than 30 hall passes that are available. That's the only thing you can purchase. It is cold out, obviously. So hall passes, for those who don't know, we launched that back in 2 years ago, where essentially it's a skip the line and get into the hall an hour before doors open. We only release 100, so it's not like everybody can buy one, and it's just a money grab. It's a strictly limited to 100 people. You buy a hall pass in addition to your regular ticket, and you get to go to the front of the line, get in before everybody else. So those are still available. But besides that, if you don't have tickets, Spectation Sports is the only place to watch Cage Titans. Don't fall for the scam links. Don't click on the links.
Yeah, those are rough.
In the comments, all that bullshit.
Yep.
It's crazy that it still happens. I get friend requests daily. I'm looking at 2 requests right now from Cage Titans.
From your own promotion.
Yeah, I got one today.
Yes.
I'm like,
hey, Mike. Mike. You know what's funny? Like, what I like. I haven't been doing it as much for the last. I've gotten so much less from them spammers. Like I was getting like you said, you're getting 2 friend requests from your own promotion. I was getting like 10, like Travis and then Lars. We go, I'm getting all these times. Like, what are you talking about? I'm getting like 50 of them. You guys got 4 of them. I'm getting like 50.
Well, I'm just about to buy a T-shirt from you or the party. You know what I'm saying? Like all these fake fucking T-shirt sites.
T-shirt friggin' spam going around. It's friggin' crazy.
I got somebody hit me up the other day. Like, oh, you got a fake. Somebody hacked your profile. And I clicked on, I'm like, I didn't make that comment, so I'm looking in my notifications. I'm like, that's not a comment I made. So I clicked on the profile, and it was somebody who made a profile that was exactly the same as mine.
Yeah.
Picture.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
I'm like, what the fuck, man?
I hate that shit.
I don't know, it's wild.
Yeah,
But don't fall for the spam links.
No.
Unlike other promotions as well, all of our fighters, in addition to their ticket sales, the streams are a way for them to make additional revenue. We give a percentage back to every fighter for every stream purchase. They actually get $20. Every fighter, for every qualified purchase of the stream, they get actually $20 back for every purchase.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So, it's a great opportunity that, I say to the fighters all the time, you fight on other promotions, you don't get these opportunities to make other revenue. It's kind of unheard of in the space. So take advantage. You sell 10 people to buy the stream, you just made yourself $200 just by sharing out your link and your promo code. Like, and it happens. Your friends are going to buy your fight anyways. So that's a great opportunity for these guys. But don't fall for the scams. You can go right to our website, cagesidesfc.com, and you get the stream or go to Spectation Sports. Make sure you use your favorite fighter's promo code, last name, when you check out so they get credit. And we love to give those guys those checks back. And it's tremendous when they're like, what did I get this money for?
Yeah.
You had 20 people sell by your stream. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure Don Shanis knows exactly where that money's coming from.
Yeah.
He's probably like, hey, calling you up the next day. Hey, how many hits did my name get? You know what I mean?
Well, you're not wrong. It's not me. It's Spectation. It takes them a week to process it. Trust me.
He's got the spreadsheet out. Everyone who's going.
He already knows. He already freaking sold them all. All right, Mike, we're going to let you go, man, but it's been a pleasure catching up with you, man. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for...
Did I hear from you that you said it's too cold to come this weekend?
Yeah, I kind of said that. It's a little cold. Well, it's my girl. Well, she kind of wants to
throw her
go,
right on the bus.
I'm not tomorrow. Yeah, it's a little cold to be waiting outside. I said that we'll come on a warmer show.
Who said you were going to wait outside?
That's what I'm saying.
All right, put me on. I'll talk to her. Can you get me in there?
You might know a guy.
All right. I'll message Nick or message you off to the side.
Yeah, just say, man, if you want to come, you listen, man. I'd love to. If this is going to be her first experience, I'd love to, have her be my guest. But obviously you're a guest, but be our guest to experience the event. I think it'd be a good time for her, and give you a little insight into the MMA world that you love so much.
Exactly. She's looking forward to see. I mean, she loves the podcast. Loves like that I do it and what I do for the fighters, and she's very excited about it. And she does want to learn a little bit about but she's Mike. She's scared to death of me. Just imagine real fighters. You know what I mean? Like real fighters.
Steve, I have to catch up with you. How you met this one? How you got so lucky?
Yeah.
You're doing all right. Is it the shaved head?
What's that?
Is it the shaved head? Is that how you pulled the woman?
Yeah, well, no, actually, I had the mohawk going on so that was one of the scary things. But she went through it. She peeled away the layers, and she kind of likes me for who I am.
These guys are party animals, Mike. They're out and about. They're social butterflies. So,
but I actually slowed down enough for her to
catch
up to me, and man, I deserve this woman, and I'm very happy for it.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Man, I'm happy for you. It's amazing, find that person. That's great. So congratulations. Happy for you. But again, no pressure at all. But don't worry about standing out in the cold, number one. So don't let that be your excuse. And if she wants to come, we'll make sure we get you in. We'll give you that VIP treatment, get you in the side doors.
All right, my man. She's right upstairs. She's probably listening right now, but she's upstairs. I'll talk to her when I go upstairs.
She's listening at the door.
She's right there right now. You better get me in that place. But
all right, listen. Maybe I just want to ruin her for everybody else. Once she comes to Cage Titans, she's gonna be like, if you take her to any other show, she's gonna be like, yeah, no.
Oh, exactly. Mike, I'll talk to her, but I'll hit you up, and I'll hit you up or Nick up, and we'll hopefully I'll see you Saturday night.
All right, my man. Well, Tommy, Steve, it's always a pleasure. Tommy, I promise you, March 22nd, we'll have some of your Triforce brethren in the cage.
Yeah, I'll go to that one. I want to go to that one. This weekend's tough, but I love coming.
He wants to go to that one, so when it gets a little warmer, Tommy.
Oh yeah, that's not me, but.
Well, thank you guys for listening to me ramble for an hour.
Right.
It's
Hell yeah,
always,
dude.
Always a pleasure. Thank you guys so much.
For sure.
And we'll see you at the fights.
All right, Mike. Thank you, man. Happy New Year.
Night,
and,
Mike.
Pleasure talking to you again, bro.
All right, my man. Have a good one.
All right, take care.
Bye.
All right, looks like I'm going.
Good shit. And that was a great interview. He's an A+ every time.
It is. I mean,
Yep.
Jesus, he just talked for like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
we
he
had him
took
at
it.
8:30. So it's 10 o'clock time.
I know.
How are you going to get to work tomorrow?
I know.
What do you get up at 5 now? You
Yeah.
said 4. What time
5.
are you going to be in?
6.
How far?
30.
How long of a commute is it?
An hour. Yeah, it's a hike.
You got to drive an hour to
Yeah.
work?
Yeah. So that's
Thank
why.
God you got a 4-cylinder, little.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Yeah. It's
Really?
worth it. Yeah, it's a good job.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing
well.
it.
You love it?
Yeah, yeah, loving it.
Good.
Loving the company. It's finally a fucking real.
Not like the last company
No,
that had a bunch
no.
of rats and
yeah,
stabbing the back.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of like that, but I know how to fucking avoid it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know how to maneuver around it. You know what I mean? So
It's tough in every business.
It is, and this industry is extra fucking weird. But I'm there.
Well,
I'm
Tommy,
making it less weird.
our first show back in
Yeah.
like 2.5 months.
It's great, man. It was really great.
We had the man on.
I've been
too.
looking forward to hearing from Mike because he takes the interview. You know what I mean? He fucking you know.
You don't have to say a word.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's all good shit too. You know, it's
cool
all
shit.
it's all the beans. You know what I'm saying?
So I got to get it on. Got to get back in the regimen here. Get it on Spotify
Yep.
and
Do
all that
all
other
things.
good stuff. Taking a clip out here and
Yep.
there and
Yeah, cut some shit
get
up.
back rolling. Yeah, I'm bored. I haven't
Yeah.
been done doing that stuff in so long. So, well, Tom,
Yeah, let's do the fucking thing.
Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year. Happy everything. Glad to be back. Yeah, let's do this.
You know, Tommy, which is another thing about this place. Someday you come over, we drink a few. You could always crash here.
Sure,
You know what I mean?
sure. Yeah, it's definitely a different animal
You
now.
know what I mean? It ain't
Yeah.
like if I could crash it on the podcast floor.
The fucking
get
table.
You get a place to sleep.
Well, yeah, if we do a late night fight companion and get
exactly.
fucking tossed
Just
up.
crash on the fucking.
That makes
the
it easier.
Futon here or
Sure.
out there or whatever. But
Yes, sir.
yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Glad to be back.
I'm very happy the internet worked
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah.
Like,
It's like a breath of fresh air. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Not like the other place was anything, but
No.
let's get you going. Let's get your
it
juices
is.
flowing.
It's a little more homey, and
Yep.
but I did love the old podcast, but like you said, it was getting a little
Yeah.
dingy and dirty in that
It was
place.
turning
You know
into
what I mean?
it was turning into the bad room.
Dude, it got so bad when I was cleaning the place and I emptied everything. The rug,
Yeah.
I had to peel it
Oh yeah, it was
off.
stuck.
It was like, and then there was like fabric all
Oh, yeah.
over the floor. I had
yeah.
to scrape
Shit
off.
seeps through carpets. You don't think it does? You know?
It was like glue.
You pulled the carpet up and everything, like is the wall
I
to wall,
pulled it up. It was glue.
Yeah.
It was like glued on. There was like the glue of the carpet. Or
wall
whatever.
to wall carpeting, not just like a regular one.
No,
right?
it was just like a piece. I had that piece there.
You brought that
covered-
piece in, yep.
Yeah, covered
Yep.
most of the room. But when I
Yeah.
peeled it up to throw it out,
Yep.
I had to rip the thing off. It was like attached to the friggin' floor.
There was things living in
From all
there.
that beer and shit
Oh yeah,
that was poured.
spill a
like
beer and never
food,
even wipe it
everything.
up. Yeah, right.
It was like body fluids, everything on that
You.
fucking floor. So well, that can't happen here. She'll be want me to sweep this up as
Yeah,
soon as
yeah,
we leave
exactly.
tonight.
Clean it up.
but-
Yeah.
Well, Tommy, I'm glad we're back, man.
Yeah, man, for sure.
It seemed like it worked out well tonight.
Yeah, I was
sound
bummed I couldn't
all
come
right.
in last week. We were ready to rock, and then
Yeah, but that's all right, man.
sure, shit happens.
I mean, we made it fight week. We had fight week.
This makes more sense to have him on this week, and
We talked about, like you said, every other week
Yeah.
show up. I mean,
Yeah.
doesn't mean you might not come 2 weeks in a row, but you never know.
Yeah.
But
I think
we'll
every
see.
other week is going to be. a
Yeah,
thing.
and I
Like
can
a-
always, Jeff or Cowboy Jeff
Yeah,
or
if you want to do it on a Wednesday, that I'm not going to be here.
Somebody can call in or whatever.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'd rather have you in
here.
studio if I'm
Yeah,
going to be
absolutely.
doing it.
Absolutely,
But if
brother.
someone wants to come down, a fighter or something, and
Sure.
sit in on one of the nights you're not here, all the power to 'em.
Fucking happening.
It's homie.
Yes, sir.
Play the drums, do whatever the fuck you
Sure,
want. By the
sure.
way, how you like my new drum set?
That's a new set.
That is the spear set. That's the practice set.
That's not the one that was in the other one, right?
That's going to be my gigging set, which
Yep.
is at the rehearsal
Yep.
studio.
That's cool.
But that's a nice. That's a beautiful.
You've been playing a lot still too.
Oh,
Yeah, every day.
playing all the time.
Yep.
Yeah,
Awesome.
playing all the
You
time.
can play as hard as you want in here. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That's great, dude.
Mary's son plays. I got him playing.
The drums or
yeah,
guitar?
he's playing. He
'Cause I
plays
saw he's got the
guitar,
guitars
and,
and stuff,
and
yeah.
now he took up the drums. He's
Playing on
fucking-
yours.
Yeah.
Yep.
I gave him the electronics drum
Oh,
set
nice.
that used to be in the old studio.
Yep.
That's at his dad's house, so he goes and
Okay.
plays that
Yeah, so he
there.
can practice
But
over
he
there.
can come down here anytime and play.
Awesome.
He's got the run of the room.
Rocking and rolling,
You know
man.
what I mean? I'm not butting him out. This
No.
is his house.
Yeah.
It's his drum set too.
Yeah,
It's his computer.
yeah. All
his
the things.
mic,
His
everything.
beer. Yeah, right.
All right. With that said, Tommy,
buddy.
anything you want to say before
No,
we
man.
get
Glad
out
to
of
be
here?
back, and let's keep going.
Congratulations once again on your brown belt
Thank you.
for Triforce.
That means a lot.
It's huge.
We're
Brian.
talking martial
It's
arts and
huge.
this and that, and
Huge. That's huge.
shows commitment. That's
It
what
does.
it is.
It does.
Not a lot of days off,
A lot of a big brotherhood and sisterhood in that gym.
Yeah, it's good. You
It's
like
good
like
for
Mike was saying, we have regular lives outside of the gym and this and that, but what we do in the gym is to keep ourselves healthy and in shape. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
we could do anything. Me and you both have our own professions that are different, but when it's time to be serious and it's time to fucking work, that's what we do.
Tommy can do that. All right, Tom.
Cool, brother.
We out of here. Thank you so much. Anyone that tuned in tonight, our first show back in God,
Couple months.
10 weeks,
Yeah.
probably 10 weeks. Thank you, Mike Polvere, for coming on tonight. Always a great friend of the show.
Yep.
Maybe I'll see a bunch of you guys and ladies Saturday night at Cage Titan 69. We're not going to have to freeze. He's going to give this the VIP treatment, which
See what it is.
it's fucking, standing around the cage, fucking right there.
It's good shit. Yeah,
That's
it's a
right
good shit.
there.
Up close.
All right. So with that said, we're out of here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Follow us everywhere.
That's right.
You know the thing. But with that said, the room might change a little bit, as we get going.
Maybe that
lighting and
camera
lighting.
over there looking at you so you can look at the screen and talk to the guests.
Say that again.
Maybe that camera over there. So you
Yeah,
can-
the problem is I don't know if it'll get both of us. You know what I mean? But I will try to put it up there.
maybe in the corner, yeah.
Right up there.
Just so like they're not looking at the back of your head. while
Yeah,
you're talking,
I know. It's a little
you know?
strange.
Yeah,
that was the only place I...
No, yeah, it's a good.
I was going to put it there, but then it wouldn't
Yeah.
get you in.
Maybe in the corner, whatever.
Yeah, we'll figure it
The
out.
kinks.
It's a lot of things they're going to tweak around. But
That's right.
all in all, it was great. Thank you so much for everyone that tuned in tonight. Thank you for Mike Polvere, and thank you, Tommy Shahid.
Thank you, Steve.
With that said, we may be back next week. If we're not, we will definitely be back the following week, to talk Cage Titans 69, the aftermath. And, I know there's a lot of other shows coming up. We got Combat FC. That is the end of February. So we'll get more people on,
Hell yeah.
more fighters and all that
back
other
into the
stuff.
swing.
But with that said, thank you so much, people. Follow us everywhere. We'll see ya.
Good night.
Be safe.